Hello mathematicians, here is the video for Home Connections, page 7 and page 8. So make sure that you do all of your homework and then use this video to check your answers. Or you can do your homework and scroll to the very end of the video and I'll show all of the answers quickly again. If you're struggling a little bit more, maybe use the video while you're doing your homework and just make sure to press pause every so often. And that way you can let your brain think and then press play and see if you're correct. All right, number 1 says, imagine using 48 tiles to build each rectangle. Write in the missing dimensions on the rectangle sketches. So we are taking the length times the width, and every time it's going to equal 48. So we are finding the factors of 48. What are all the things we can multiply together to get 48? All right, first picture, 1 times 48 equals 48. 2 times 24 equals 48. I think I'll go down below here. 4 times 12 equals 48. 8 times 6 equals 48. And 16 times 3 equals 48. And if you didn't know that, off to the side, maybe you would try a couple of 16s. Oop, that's not 48. So then you would say, let me try one more 16. There's 48. And you can see how many 16s did it take to equal 48? It took 3 of them. Okay. All right. So it says the factors of 48 are, so now I'm just writing them like as a pair. So let's go ahead and write 1 and 48 equals 48. 2 times 24 equals 48. 4 times 12 equals 48. 8 times 6 equals 48. And 16 times 3 equals 48. Question number 3 asks, is it a prime or a composite number? And prime and composite have to do with how many factors it has. And this one that we just did, 48, has a lot of factors. I'm going to write it as a rainbow. 1 times 48. There we go. Hold on, guys. Let me get my marker here. There we go. 1 times 48 equals 48. 2 times 24. 3 doesn't. Oh, yeah, 3 times 16. There we go. 3 times 16. 4 times 12. And 6 times 8. Okay? 1 works, 2 works, 3 works, 4 works. 5 does not work because 48 does not end in a 5 or a 0. 6 works, 7 doesn't work, 8 works, but 8 was already up there with 6. That's when you know you've gotten them all. So we've got our factor rainbow here. Somewhere under the rainbow, factors fly. To get a product, they're the numbers that you multiply. So 48's got a ton of factors. And if it has a ton of factors, this is what it means. It's composite. So I'm going to say it is composite. Because it has more than 2 factors. If a number only has 2 factors, 1 and itself, then it's a prima donna prime, which we talked about in class. All right, so 48 is definitely composite. It's got a ton of factors. All right, moving on. Study your list of factors for 48. What patterns do you observe? You can write a couple of different things. You might say that when you multiply the factors together, they always equal 48 because that's what a factor means. Okay, you might have also noticed some doubling and halving. So when one number got twice as big, like from 1 to 2, the other number gets gets cut in half. So I saw lots of doubling and halving, which means cutting in half, and I'll show you an example. All right, so one was 1 times 48, and another was 2 times 24. And I just want you to notice that as this number gets doubled, right? If you double 1, you get 2. Then that means the other number has to get cut in half. So I saw a lot of kind of doubling and halving things going on. And you could have something else written for number 4 as well. All right, let's flip over to page 8. And make it a little bigger for us. Okay, here we go. Write the missing numbers on the number line. These are really just facts of 3, and I know a lot of people know their facts of 3 pretty well. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 equals 24. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 11 is 33. And 3 times 12 is 36. So we've got the fact up above and then the product, the answer down below. Okay, moving on, number 6. Number 6 says there are 6 paintbrushes in each box. So the most important number in this ratio table is the number 6. We're going to see a whole bunch of facts of 6 on this ratio table. So for every box, there are 6 paintbrushes. So if there are 4 boxes, 4 times 6 is 24. And you could even write that in if that helps, if you're a very visual person. For the next one, what times 6 is 30? And the answer is 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. 7 times 6 is 42. It skips 8, so be careful. 9 times 6 is 54. And it looks like what times 6 equals 60? It must be 10 times 6 equals 60. Okay, moving on, number 7. Aisha is using 7 bottles of paint. There are 5 times as many bottles of paint in the supply closet. How many bottles of paint are in the closet? Show your thinking. I'm totally going to write an equation. All right, 7 bottles, but in the closet there's 5 times as much. And 7 times 5 is 35. If you want, this would be a great opportunity to use a variable, maybe B for bottles. And 7 times 5 is 35. And if you didn't know what 7 times 5 was, you could draw a picture, right? 5 rows of 7 or 7 rows of 5. But the answer is 35. And let's give it a little circle here. All right, number 8. There are 50 markers in the art closet. There are half as many markers on one table. How many markers are on the table? When you cut something in half, that means you're dividing by 2. Okay, so when we're cutting something in half, we're dividing by 2. If you know your quarters well, your money well, you probably know that 50 cut in half is 25, because I know 2 quarters is 50 cents. So 1 quarter, half of that would be 25. How many markers are on the table? 25 markers. Okay. If you didn't know that, if you were to draw 50 like dots, you could totally cut that picture in half and there would be 25 on one side and 25 on the other. Okay, moving on. Number 9. DeAndre is making a sequence. A sequence is another word for, do you know? A pattern. And it looks to me like the numbers are getting bigger and they're getting bigger really consistently. So I think it's going to be adding. 5 plus 7 is 12. Let's make sure that works for the next one. Is 12 plus 7 19? Yes. 19 plus 7 is 26. 26 plus 7, does that equal 33? It does. 33 plus 7 is 40. 40 plus 7 is 47, and I'm sure it will work for the last one. 47 plus 7, does that equal 54? It does. All right, let me show you all of the answers to page 7 first. Hold on, can I get this up? Uh-oh, I just lost myself here. Oh, here, let me use this. There we go. Okay, here are the answers for page 7. So let me start at the top and scroll down. And here are the answers for page 8. All right, kids, I will see you in class.